immigration. Can't get away from it. Even libs like Bill Maher are acknowledging this could really hurt the Democrats.
Voters keep saying over and over again, we are not comfortable with this level of immigration. And I understand why. It doesn't make you a racist to say that. And yet, the liberal parts of, certainly in America, Alex Padilla said last week, he is our senator here, by reviving Trump's asylum ban, Biden has undermined American values. And then they all stand back and go, we don't want to be called a racist, so we will not make a move on immigration. It's going to get them at Election Day. It's happening in Europe right now. That proves it in Europe, and it's going to happen here in America. It happened with Brexit. It's going to happen again.
I think Bill Maher is totally right if the election is fair and square. Knock the Brits all you want, but they seem like they're able to run pretty fair and square elections, and their election season is much shorter than our election season, in part because they have regulations around it. And the same goes for even continental European elections. Frankly, same goes for South American elections. You know, these places that very often they don't even use electronic voting machines. They use old-fashioned pen and paper ballots. And they're able to get results that night. And the election seasons are a lot tighter. When they're a little more fair and square and you got election watchers and you've got integrity, immigration is a big issue and it really damages the liberals and the globalists. Which does raise a question here. I wish I could give attribution. I forget who raised this point on X the other day. But someone made the point, whenever I think of it, I'll give attribution. You got to ask yourself, what are the electronic voting machines for? They're not for speed of figuring out who won. The pen and paper ballots are able to do that a lot faster. For us now, it takes us days and weeks to count all the ballots. It's not for election security. We don't even take IDs anymore in a lot of places. In fact, it's illegal to ask for an ID at voting locations in a large parts of the country. It's not for, is it so that we know that, I don't know, the people who are permitted to vote, just their ballots can't be falsified? Well, of course they can. They're much more likely to be falsified on an electronic machine that can be hacked than on a pen and paper ballot. No, what is it for? It seemed to me that it is for rigging elections. That's all it. What's the benefit? What's the other benefit? I don't see it. So that's the part Bill Maher is leaving out of his analysis here. What if they can just kind of rig it a little bit? They've said that Trump is Hitler 2.0. They're willing to upend the whole political order and imprison the guy. There's nothing they won't do. They're trying to throw the guy in prison. You can't tell me there's anything that they won't do that's beyond their lust for power. What are some of those issues that really matter? I want to get to one that hit the news, an issue near and dear to my heart. Business Insider has a report on it. House Republicans need a place to smoke cigars. And I know a lot about this story, actually. According to the headline, House Republicans say they, quote, desperately need a place to smoke cigars. House Republicans are facing yet another crisis. Here we are. This is reporting. It's meant to make the Republicans look bad, out of touch, maybe even a little silly, foppish almost. They need a place to smoke their cigars. Say it's only tangentially related to the business of crafting and passing laws. They need a place to smoke cigars near the House floor. Until recently, they had one. Representative Tom Cole, a long-serving Oklahoma Republican with a penchant for cigars, had provided space for such activities as chair of the House Rules Committee, which meets on the second floor of the Capitol. The Rules office was a great place, Cole told Axios, but I'm not the chairman anymore, so he lost his office, so now where the cigar smoker is going to smoke. According to a Pennsylvania representative, Guy Reschenthaler, he says, there's no better time to build a relationship than over a cigar. You can actually have a long conversation with somebody and it really leads to building bridges. Very true. And there is such a thing as the Congressional Cigar Caucus. I know this because Congressman Reschenthaler actually played a role in the creation of Mayflower cigars. So I keep meaning to get a box of these cigars over. I got to make sure it's within the ethics limits or whatever they limit, but I want to get the Congressional Cigar Caucus some Mayflowers because one of the untold aspects of the Mayflower cigar story is that I was backstage once on the Mike Huckabee show, and Congressman Guy Reschenthaler was also backstage. He was on the show that night, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Knowles, you're a cigar guy, right?" I say, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, well, I'm in the Congressional Cigar Caucus. I got to," and I guess Guy has some campaign cigars or something. He says, "Yeah, you got to try one of my campaign cigars or this, that, or that." We get to talking. And I say, "Yeah, I'm actually thinking about starting a cigar company." This was right around the time it was going to kick off. And I picked his brain on the cigar industry and, different factories and things like brands and, all sorts of stuff, cigars and politics. And he said, "Well, I'm this Congressional Cigar Caucus." And he gave me some advice that actually did help lead to the creation of the Mayflower Cigar Company. And I still haven't made it to the Congressional Cigar Caucus. I look forward to it, though. I recently saw a member of that caucus, another member of Congress came by, made sure that he gets to try out some Mayflower cigars. And it's important. So why is it important? Why is Guy saying that there's no better time to build a relationship than over a cigar, especially for conservatives? Because many reasons, but one, it forces you to sit down for 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour and a half. It forces people who are very busy, politicians are real busy, to sit down and talk. And it's relaxing. It gives you something to focus your mind on. You cut the cigar, you light the cigar, the taste of the cigar, so that you're a little more relaxed. I'm not even saying you're relaxed from the nicotine. You're more relaxed from the act of doing that. And you can speak a little more freely. And the other thing about cigars is it seems like a vice while not being a vice. Anything, I suppose, taken to excess could be a vice. Broccoli could become a vice if you're gluttonous about it. But it doesn't change your mind. It's not like you get drunk on cigars. It's not like you get high from cigars. It seems like it's a vice, which is great. It lowers the temperature. But it's not really a vice. I don't know how the Democrats hang out. They probably, I don't know what they do. They probably smoke a bunch of pot and go to orgies or something. But Republicans don't want to do that. Republicans want to be orderly, but you have a nice cigar. Maybe you have a drink with it. Maybe you don't have a drink with it. But it allows you to get things done because politics is about relationships. It's about people, especially if you're talking about the House of Representatives. That's supposed to represent the appetitive part of the government, the part of the government associated with pathos, with the desires of the people. That's why they run for office every 2 years. They're the closest to the people. They need a spot. They need to smoke their cigar. It's very important. It's a fun recreation. I like doing it, but it serves a political function. The smoke-filled back rooms get a bad rap because they were disconnected from the people. And it was, secret deals. And some would argue actually the government ran better when we had smoke-filled back rooms. But the reason they get their bad reputation is because they were back rooms, not because of the smoke. The smoke is very conducive to politics, at least the civilized kind of politics. And we need to get the House Republicans a good spot to smoke their cigars, and they need to smoke Mayflower cigars, if you ask me. Call your congressman. Let them know. That was a great clip. It was good. Now hold up, ring the bell, subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.